Like 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
When you think of Chicago, you probably picture the downtown area, but there is so much more to the city to explore. However, before we leave downtown, let's take a look at one more section. Downtown Chicago is split into three main areas: the Loop, the near north side, and the near south side. Given that we've already covered plenty of the Loop, the near north side will be our next adventure. Just north of the Loop and across the river is where we will go. It's the oldest part of Chicago, dating back to the 1780s when Jean-Baptiste Pont du Sable built the city's first permanent settlement. Of the several neighborhoods, I will be covering 5 of them in this episode. Sorry Goose Island, we'll get to you one day. But without further ado, let's check out the near north side. Picking up where we left off in the last episode, Streeterville is home to Navy Pier, the city's most popular attraction. Next to Navy Pier is where you'll find some of Chicago's best kept secrets, the Ohio Street Beach and Olive Park. The park was named after Milton Lee Olive III, a Chicagoan who fought in the Vietnam War and was the first African American to win a Medal of Honor. From the northernmost end of the park, you get a fantastic view of the Gold Coast. Sitting on a very small 114 acres, the Gold Coast is one of the city's most affluent neighborhoods, where you'll find beautiful mansions and high-rise apartments as well as several of the city's high-end shopping boutiques and dining experiences. The Gold Coast is also home to the man-made Oak Street Beach and the International Museum of Surgical Sciences. West of Streeterville is a stretch of Michigan Avenue called the Magnificent Mile. It's a mixture of stores, restaurants, office buildings, and hotels. Starting at the north side of the river, the Magnificent Mile is showcased by 2 of Chicago's most iconic buildings, the Wrigley Building and the Tribune Tower. The latter was home to the Chicago Tribune newspaper until recently and is now being renovated into an apartment building. Outside the Wrigley Building, if you venture downstairs underneath Michigan Avenue, you'll find the infamous Billy Goat Tavern. What once was a hangout for Tribune writers, the tavern was made famous by a small comedy show. Make sure when you go, you order chips and Pepsi. After your burger, resurface and take a walk north past the North Bridge Mall, and you'll find yourself by the world's largest Starbucks. As you reach the end of the Magnificent Mile, you'll see 3 iconic Chicago landmarks. Those places are the John Hancock Center, the Old Water Tower, and the New Water Tower Place Shopping Center. The John Hancock Center is the 3rd largest residential building in the world and includes a restaurant called the Signature Room located on the 95th floor. North of the Magnificent Mile is the historic district called Old Town. Old Town is the site of many of Chicago's older Victorian-era buildings, as well as St. Michael's Church, one of the 7 buildings to survive the Great Chicago Fire. Unlike the flagship stores of Magnificent Mile, Old Town is full of uniquely independent Chicago shops, like the Village Cyclery, Zany's Comedy Club, and the Old Town School of Folk Music, just to name a few. The neighborhood is based around Wells Street, so I guess you can say Wells Street is the Old Town Road. Sorry for that. Going back south on Wells Street, we arrive at River North. This area is a hub of art, culture, and business, located within the heart of the city. Along the banks of the river, River North features many iconic buildings such as the Trump Tower, Marina City, and the House of Blues. The House of Blues is a place where you can watch live performances while enjoying southern-based dishes. Perhaps River North's most famous building is the Merchandise Mart. Though it is only 18 floors tall, when it was constructed, it was the world's largest building due to the large amount of land it sits on. So large, in fact, the building had its own zip code. Built by Marshall Field and Company, the Mart centralized Chicago's wholesale goods business by consolidating architectural and interior design vendors and trades under a single roof. We can't end our tour of the near north side without mentioning that it is the home to some of the city's best known restaurants, including the area's most infamous pizzerias, Gino's East, Lou Malnati's, Giordano's, and pizzerias Uno and Due, just to name a few. And that will do it for this episode. The lights are coming up and the snow is coming down, which means that the holiday season and the long winter are upon us. Next time I will be taking a look at what the holiday season brings to the Windy City. But for now, this is Checking Out Chicago with Oliver Roper.